feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm unknown to the world that's full of clones. My originality's focused on principalities broken. I'm loaning my heart and soul to the game that's scared to pay it back. And failure is a motherfucker. The strength to go on and believing in another sucker.
Man. What a Wednesday. You see the jersey, so you know it's game day. It's game 3, the pivotal game 3. But before we get to all that good fun, jazz, and adventure, welcome to your favorite show on a Wednesday. We are here at Gentlemen's Talk. You know who I am. I am the CEO of Hoochie Daddies Incorporated in my best Miami Vice fit, Mr. GQ.
I am the co-president of the Fuck Around and Find Out Club, DJ Micah B. And in the words of my boy Troy from the sidelines, hey, yo, let's get it on a Wednesday. Happy Gentlemen's Talk Wednesday, people.
Man.
Yes, I'm very hyped about this episode.
Look, let me crack open something nice real quick. So this is something new. This here is called Peach Party from Blake's Cider Company. This is a peach and blackberry cider.
Well, where did you get it?
You know I got it at HEB.
Here. Everything's better. Haven't done that in a while. That's the plug right there.
Man, and that whole fire too.
Oh, yeah. This episode is going to be fun. We got a lot of funny things coming up. We got a lot of fun things coming up. I'm excited.
What it do, CJ?
CJ, the president of them punk-ass Jets.
You know it, the CEO of the fuck-ass Jets. Oh, man. So we got it going. It's going to be a good show. We kind of flipped the whole order of this motherfucker upside down for you, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to get this show started with arguably the most important part, because you saw the thumbnail if you've been paying attention on YouTube. So let's get it cracking this way. Man,
that damn thing,
right?
damn.
I'm telling you. Look, hold on. I gotta. There
it is.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Right on time. Right before the segment started. It was fantastic. Your timing could not have been better. First Lady, what's happening?
What is up? Thank you, Gentlemen's Talk, for letting me come through again. I'm still kind of at work. I ain't left yet. But I did want to come through and tell you about the segment. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about basically, did the Heat figure out the Nuggets? Were they able to figure out Jokic and come up with a plan? We're going to get into all of that. All the first 2 game breakdowns. And then tomorrow we're going to get into game 3 because that's tonight. But we're going to talk about all of it. Talk about basically, is Bam the key to them winning? And what the Heat did differently to win game 2. So we're going to get into all that. And plus, let's talk about Cliff Paul getting cut, which it was a long time coming. We're going to get into that. But anyway,
oh, my God.
It's been a long time coming.
Hey, Zamar, before you go, real quick, right before you go, right?
Yeah.
I got 2 things for you.
All right.
Who's winning tonight's game?
I'm going to be biased and say because the Heat might have figured them out, they might win because Bam is the key. I feel like he got to get his points. He got 21, I think he got. Sometimes he should be getting rebounds. You don't get the points. He got to be able to get his good 20 and 15, or 20 and 10, whatever, for them to win. That's what I think. And
all right.
That boy, your ghost, the king of blocking
and second thing before you leave, we got an exciting topic tonight. So I got to ask you, what is your favorite childhood cartoon?
I'm going to take it back. Darkwing Duck.
Hey!
She hit it with a mean classic. Hey, that was a fire-ass theme song, though, with that one.
It was. Hey, I listened to the theme song today. I ain't gonna lie.
that was my joint. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah.
No, that's fire. So see, look, the more you know, I like it. So make sure y'all tune in to Player versus Team tomorrow. It's gonna be a phenomenal show. I think your boy, your ghost, said he was gonna jump. Oh, there you go. He said he's gonna jump in the show tomorrow, too. So might add to a little bit of that fuckery tomorrow. So like we talked about with Player versus Team, bring your bias, but bring your facts and leave your feelings at home.
Exactly, and I know that y'all doing this shows, but since y'all Heat fans, it would behoove y'all. Can I ask Mel to come?
Who's y'all? Who's that? No. I'm a Jimmy Butler fan, not a Heat fan.
That you can't do that. That's like
Yes, I can. I'm a Rockets fan. True, Jimmy Butler's just my favorite player to watch.
okay. All right. I can concede with that. It's player versus team, so the player and then I got you. But you a Heat fan, so Mr. GQ will behoove you to come through and rep, especially if they get this W tonight. So that's all I got to say.
I'm
But
with
anyways,
it. So,
I'm gonna let y'all get back to it. Y'all trashing millionaires again and trashing Skip Bayless, which he should be trashed, but yeah.
well, don't you worry, I'm
Oh,
gonna
what's
dump the
coming?
whole dumpster on his ass.
Anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank y'all so much for letting me come through.
I appreciate
All
you,
right.
Queen.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, so back to your regularly scheduled program. Like we said, y'all make sure y'all check out player versus team. Oh, look, Calvin's still talking about his Jets. Hey, man, it's okay, man. It's okay.
When
But
y'all go
did you see what
6 and
happened?
12
Like,
or whatever it is, I'll be
yeah.
happy.
I don't want to get too far off topic because I'm ready to get into this. But did you see what the Jets did though about
No.
canceling their camp? Okay, I'm gonna let you look into that, and I'm sure we'll talk about that on Friday on Inside the Huddle too, because that was kind of a big deal that happened today. Today or yesterday, I think it was today. But I was reading about it. I was like, say what? But let's get to these dumbass millionaires, because boy, we got 4 of them. This conversation started with 1, and then DJ Micah B sent me one, which gave us 2, and then this other idiot decided to add himself to this trifecta to make it 3, and about 45 minutes before the show, number 4 decided to make a special guest appearance. So that is how this shit happened. So you want to get it started, DJ Micah B?
All right, everybody. Y'all know one of my favorite things. If Joseph is around, and Joseph, I know you're listening somewhere. Oh my God, I couldn't wait to do this. Former Cowboy Antonio Callaway. All right. Got caught driving. He got pulled over. You know, that all sounds innocent until you hear what the hell happened. This idiot got caught driving with a suspended license. Bruh. Listen. You made hella money in the NFL. This dude here. You made hella money in the NFL. You have enough to afford a chauffeur, and what you want to do is drive with a suspended license. And congratulations, you have made the dumbass millionaire list on June 7th, 2023 on Gentleman's Talk. You're an idiot just like the rest of the Cowboys in the world who believe the nonsense. This is what y'all do. Y'all expect the player to equate to the human. Well, you got your case this time. The player wasn't good. The human obviously isn't that good. So welcome to the list, brother. Go ahead and take it away, GQ.
Welcome, Mr. Callaway. Use a dumb one. You couldn't get your license renewed, my guy? Come on, bro. Now, your license was suspended, which means you probably did something prior to that, and you didn't take care of your business. And you gave the Cowboys exactly what ammunition they needed to go on and drop them sizzles and cut you. And now you ain't got no job. You got fired on your day off.
Hey, you know what? We need to come up with our own phrase for when somebody gets cut. Because you know, when somebody gets eliminated from the playoffs in the NBA, they go fishing. I came up with the one for football, they go hunting. We got to find one for when somebody gets cut.
Okay. Oh, we can definitely figure something out for that. I'm sure we can get real creative with that. So yeah, let's keep this thing moving because I want to talk about Mr. Isaiah Rodgers. All right, something about cats in the last name Rodgers just can't keep their name out the goddamn news. So insert another Rodgers. This dumb motherfucker here done added to the list of NFL players who have been caught gambling, betting on sports games. Bro, when everything went down with the Detroit Lions, everybody should have been on notice because this ain't going to be the last one. This won't be the last. Because what we learned from this story is that Mr. Rodgers was using, basically, somebody else was placing the bets, but the trainer found out, some other people found out, and it was kind of like a whole little collusion type of situation. But the point is, why are you gambling on your sport? because the way this story goes, he bet on not only against his team, but he also bet for his team a few times, which that is exactly what Roger Goodell wants to get away from. Because if you, the player, is betting for and or against your own team, there's a possibility for a lot of things going on that we don't need to. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that we don't need to deal with in that regard.
For the betting man out there, I think they understand how it can be manipulation on both sides. So,
yeah. So, welcome, Mr. Isaiah Rogers, on June 7th, 2023, to the Dumbass Millionaires. And at some point, we will do a Dumbass Millionaires Wall of Fame, and we will highlight our favorite Dumbass Millionaires, which I can almost be willing to bet you money that somehow, some way, Ja Morant will be on this list somewhere relatively high.
Oh, the Hall of Fame, because we not even gonna get into Ja Morant this week.
The finals, we find out. No, we're gonna We'll save him for after the finals when they find out what his suspension gonna be. So
can I introduce the next one?
You know what? Take it away.
All right. So years ago, I was in college, and I don't want to reveal my age that much, but I don't even care because I'm still young. Back in 2010, I had a moniker of a name called the Baytown Skip Bayless. Back then, I liked the name, because I was always out there debating, especially with this one on the screen with me and a couple of others. But now, what a disgrace it is to call me the Baytown Skip Bayless. This dumbass millionaire disrespected Shannon Sharpe, and that caused the spiral. For those of you that don't know, Shannon Sharpe will be leaving undisputed after the NBA Finals. And even though it hasn't come out yet, I'm pretty sure it's differences. Let's just say that. For those of you that haven't seen the Clippers yet, Skip took a personal shot at Shannon Sharpe about Tom Brady being 10 times better than he was, even though Shannon also has 3 rings, which is, I think, the most among tight ends, by the way. And Shannon Sharpe is also probably a top 5 tight end all time. So the gap really isn't that wide, but he took a personal shot at Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe got heated, took his glasses off, and Skip told him, "Put your glasses back on." Bruh, need I say more? If you don't understand that, I guess you're not in the black community, because basically that insists you're not going to do nothing. And here we are today. Shannon Sharpe has reached a buyout sometime last week, and he will be leaving undisputed, which leaves people like me, a fan of Shannon Sharpe and the show, pretty confused. But I think Shannon Sharpe made the right call. You don't disrespect me like that and think I'm going to stick around and help you make some damn money. You done lost your goddamn mind. Mr. GQ, take it away.
So, to first jump on your first, the first thing you said, he is not the all-time leading tight end with championships. That is Rob Gronkowski with 4. 3 the Patriots, 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You're right.
But, just want to, throw that out there.
Good fact check. Good fact check, though.
Yeah, but we gotta talk about it, because this is not the first time that Mr. Bayless has been a reckless talker. Because we know, hold on. What up, Troy? If there's one thing that we've learned in his time from ESPN on Cold Pizza by himself to First Take, now we're going to go to First Take. This man has notoriously said a lot of reckless shit. Not just to Shannon Sharpe. He said stuff to Michael Irving. He said stuff to Stephen A. Smith. He's just been all, even back when him and, was Rob Parker. There we go. Rob Parker, they used to go toe-to-toe. Broussard and them used to go back and forth.
The main one. You forgot the main one from back in the day. Jalen Rose.
Oh. What's happening? I see you. Look, the chat is live and in color. So I'm talking about what's good, Mr. Telly. So, again, this man is doing something that you're not supposed to do in this life. We call it burning bridges, because you can't cross burning bridges. And not only is Shannon Sharpe leaving undisputed, he is leaving FS1. They bought his contract was bought out. 100%. His contract was bought out. So either he is going to do. Now, there's been a couple of speculated rumors floating around about there. I know shortly after that story broke, Stephen A. Smith on his podcast said, "Hey, I welcome him to come on the First Take, and he would sign off on it." So that's already being floated out there. I don't know if we want that level of personalities on TV like that. That would be pretty crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, seeing him. Listen, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, JJ Redick, Kendrick Perkins, that shit would be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Or even Swagoo, that shit would be dumb. Or Michael Irving, that shit would be just nuts.
Swagoo.
If I'm being honest, I'd like to kind of see Shannon Sharp just kind of be floating around. Like, make your appearances on ESPN. I'd love to see him on NFL Network. I think he would do great things on that as well. Like, I just kind of like, because I know I believe, if I remember correctly, before he got to FS1 East, he was on, I believe it was CBS Sports. I believe he was on the CBS Sundays.
Yep.
So he went from CBS to, and he did a couple of appearances on ESPN, then Fox Sports 1, and then, here we are now. So, but back on the regularly scheduled here. Skip got to stop burning bridges, because now Undisputed is not going to be the same. Like, you don't think of a show like Undisputed and think just Skip Bayless. It is Skip and Shannon. It is Skip and Shannon's Undisputed. It ain't now. It's just gonna be like, now what? Who at Fox Sports 1 do you bring in? This is another rumor. I don't know how we're gonna feel about it, but I've heard the rumors of Emmanuel Acho replacing Shannon Sharp. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know if their chemistry would fit on everything that does not revolve around normal issues. When you start talking about your social injustice issues and everything else, the chemistry on screen will be phenomenal. When they start going back and forth on sports, I don't know. I don't see it yet. Like, I watch what they do on Speak, and I like what Acho and Joy Taylor. I like what all they do. They have a great little chemistry. Rick Bucher, who's really good, and then Shady McCoy doing whatever it is Shady McCoy does.
Well, Shady McCoy is the other one that's rumored to take the spot.
Well, okay. I'm gonna take a sip on that one.
So
I don't know if I necessarily like that one, but
I definitely don't like it. But Eddie House is another person that has been rumored to be interviewing for it. So I think him and Eddie House won't have chemistry on anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You know what? Bring JJ Redick in. Fuck it.
He'd have to terminate his contract with ESPN. I don't know if that'll. I don't know if he wants to terminate that.
You're right, but I'm just saying. Just a thought. But I told you we had a surprise dumbass millionaire.
Yes, you did.
Here's the funny thing about this particular millionaire, right? He's in the same boat as John Moran. He's a newer millionaire. He's kind of new money. But the problem is, and it's ironic, they're in the same draft class, which makes this shit even more funny. So they're in the same. No, they've been around. He's been around the league, but he has not played near the amount of games that John Moran has played. This man has not been on the court very much at all. So I think you have an idea of who I'm talking about, because
I definitely know exactly who you're talking about. Not even an idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us bring in Zion Williamson. Zion. Boy, you found your way into this conversation, and I wasn't even expecting you to show up. But since you can't show up on the court, I guess you'll show up on Dumbass Millionaires. So here's what goes on. This story is still unraveling. So the full-on story is not even done yet, but it's unraveling. And boy, it's you want to talk about some shit.
It's getting messy.
There's some Snapchats out there and but let me just talk about it. So Zion, first of all, congratulations. You have a baby on the way, which we're now aware of. That's not the issue. The issue is you have a mistress. And you told this mistress that you told this mistress you didn't have a girlfriend. And all of a sudden you got a whole ass kid on the way. And this mistress, who now will have a name, her name is Mariah Mills. Some may know her, some don't. I don't really know her. I just was like, so I don't know, but I will be doing more research after all the tweets that I was able to see finally that she tagged him in without hesitation. So that's why I always make sure I check off before these shows start that this is not for children because, ladies and gentlemen, this show is not for your children. So if your children are watching, I do not apologize because I'm about to read these motherfucking tweets verbatim because I ain't got to expedite shit out. So, very first tweet that she sends out. I let you spit in my mouth last week when we fucked. You could have told me you had another whore pregnant. How was that going to work moving us both to New Orleans? You think I would have found out? That's the first tweet. All right, next tweet. I told you was gonna be the next king next to LeBron. I motivated you. Your baby mom is the reason you gain weight. She toxic. I hate this for you. I hate that for you. Honestly, you hurt me with this one, and I couldn't sleep last night. I motivated you to get back in shape. I let you fuck me all kinds of ways and film me on your phone, and you impregnate a low-budget porn star. DNA test or I'm done. So this is just getting more and more. So people started going in on it. Oh, you making up this, that, and the other. So she comes back with the Snapchat shots. You sound stupid. This was literally my man, and I never once looked for clout or anyone that posted. I was in New Orleans. I was loyal to you, and you got a thought pregnant. And then she shows the Snapchat conversation that has 2 videos saved. These videos have not been leaked yet, and if they were, I probably most likely wouldn't be able to show them on the stream anyway. So if they come out, keep your eyes open. So this whole thing, and she just went in. She posted another tweet. She's got like his name, of course. She's got when you move, how much you expect me to pay you a month. I'm super excited. So like he was setting up a whole ass double life. And she just kept tweeting. You couldn't even impregnate a real porn star. Like, you better pray I'm not pregnant too because I'm definitely late. So the layers upon layers to this story that is not finished yet just is fucking crazy to me. But this is what Zion been doing since he ain't been able to be on the court.
Hey, you remember
he been playing around in the back.
You remember Dark Knight? Oh, Black Knight. I remember when Martin woke up with the girl next to him?
Oh man.
I got a message for Zion's mom. Hey, your son is a freak and you ain't even know.
But I'm like, come on, bro. Like, so this what you do? Like, you're more concerned with, well, I guess you ain't have nothing else to do. Your team ain't make the play. You ain't make the playoffs. You ain't made a deep playoff run. I don't think you made a deep playoff run since Anthony Davis was there. And I don't even know if that counts as a deep playoff. I think they made second round when Anthony Davis was there?
Yeah, they swept Portland.
Yeah, that's what it was. But what have you done since you've been in the league? You showed off every piece of clothing in your closet because you've sat down more than you've actually played on the floor. Like, don't get me wrong. When he's on the floor, he's a very efficient player. He doesn't shoot a lot of shots, makes a lot of his shots, makes a lot of his free throws. Great rebound. He's a double machine. But
my best motto for sports, the best ability is what?
Availability. So that's
sir,
how that goes.
We did not mean availability like the way you're doing right now. You are living by Lil Wayne's words. The fruits of my lawn I enjoy them while they still ripe. And that ain't a good look right now. You about to have a Gary Payton moment. You about to have a Gary Payton Jr. and a Gary Payton II. Come on, dude. Dumb ass millionaires, man.
That's how we go. That's how we do. That's what happened. So now that you all see this, oh boy, these millionaires, y'all make content so easy for us.
I swear. It don't matter. Every week I'll be like, damn, I don't know who I'm going to do for Dumbass Millionaires or who we got. And then, sure enough, lunchtime comes around and one of these idiots done something.
Or a whole bunch of them.
This might be the biggest segment we had on Dumbass Millionaires so far. 4 of them in a week.
And that's the best part of it.
And as soon as this suspension comes after the NBA Finals are over, John Morant will be the first inductee.
Yeah, he will be a
Dumbass Millionaire Hall of Fame.
He will be a repeat offender.
Oh man, I can't deal with the toy gun thing. Oh,
I don't even, bro. We just gonna
you
say
know
we
what?
passed to the finals,
Let's go ahead and move on from this because I'll be able to talk about John Morant all day if we don't.
right? Like it would just, I don't know. It would just be ridiculous. Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. So, you want to cross them up? All
Let's cross them up.
right, let's cross them up. You already know what time it is. I'm gonna sit back, relax, and let DJ Micah B take it over.
Invented by the NBA, perfected by me. This is the thing we call the crossover. Like I explain every week for those of you that don't know what the crossover is, I pick something and equate it to something else. So most of the time it's comic books. Sometimes it's something on TV that relates to real life. So I think you're going to like this one because it has to do with the greatest anime of all time in Dragon Ball Z. Or Dragon Ball Super, whichever one you want to do. So
either one.
For those of you that know, the history of Dragon Ball Z goes deep. So originally, Vegeta and Piccolo were villains. Yamcha was a villain. Tien was a villain. Chaozu was a villain. Cool. So as Dragon Ball, the original series went on, all these people turned over, and then the second saga in Dragon Ball Z, when Vegeta came to Earth, Vegeta turned over, and now they're all friends. They're all friends and colleagues and this and that. But every time we go into battle in Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Z after the Namek Saga, you got Vegeta, Goku, and pretty much the rest. The third wheel changes so often in Dragon Ball Z. At one point, your third wheel was Gohan in the Cell Saga. A couple of times, the third wheel was Piccolo. In Namek, if you watch after Vegeta dies, there's Goku, Gohan, and Krillin after Piccolo pretty much gets beat down. In Dragon Ball Super, Goku, Vegeta, whether it's Buu, whether it's Gohan, whether it's Piccolo. Then we have the Dragon Ball Super movie where it's Gohan and Piccolo, and then you have Pan as a third wheel. I guess.
Don't forget in Dragon Ball Super, there was a couple times when it was ironically Frieza too.
Absolutely true. During the
tournament, yeah.
Android 17 as well.
Android 17, who was an X Factor in that whole thing.
MVP. I've been saying that forever. So, for those that you ain't caught on yet, we are going to talk about third wheels on an NBA championship team. These are the best third wheels since the year 2000. I'm going to start off with honorable mention first. And 2000 and 2002, I'm going to have two players because it's going to be a slash. Glenn Rice and Robert Horry for the Lakers.
Okay.
Robert Horry came up big. Glenn Rice was the third leading scorer. I actually put another dash and put Rick Fox. So
I'm surprised you have Robert Horry as the third wheel and you have him as an honorable mention. That is crazy.
Well, no. This is just the third wheel. I'm picking that whole bench as the third wheel because every game it was somebody else stepping up.
Well, I mean, just looking at like Robert Horry's history, like he's, well, of course, you know. Yeah, I don't have to tell you, you know, especially you. That's one of your fantasy basketball team names, the Horry scale. But so you know this, but you know.
Yep. Starting after the honorable mention with number 5. Oh, I'm sorry, I got one more honorable mention. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks. Everybody, not named Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd. Everybody, bro. It didn't matter who it was.
Squad. Jason Terry, the whole squad. Chandler, like that whole squad. Oh, yeah.
Marion, it didn't matter who. Deshaun Stevenson, it doesn't matter. JJ, it doesn't matter. The whole squad. So, come in number 5. And a lot of people will be like, why is he so low? I got Manu Ginobili. And the reason why I got Manu Ginobili so low is because a lot of the times he was also the second wheel as well. Because him and Tony Parker traded back and forth depending on who was hot that game, and Tim Duncan was the de facto number one. So I got Manu Ginobili. And Tony Parker also has a Finals MVP. That's the reason why I picked Manu Ginobili over Tony Parker.
Not mad.
Number 4, you're going to appreciate this. This is 2 people on one team. Antoine Walker and Gary Payton, the 2006 Miami Heat.
Man, I was just watching the highlights from Game 3, 2006, when the Heat were down 2-0 to the Dallas Mavericks, and D-Wade decided to drop 42 on their head. With a bum knee. Shaq played one of his worst games in the playoffs. He had 9 turnovers in that game. And D-Wade came through.
Antoine Walker and Gary Payton were beyond effective in this series. Defensively, Gary Payton was the second best defender. Offensively,
I agree with that.
Offensively, it could be made a case that Antoine Walker was the second best offensive player in that series because Shaq had off and on games. And granted, Shaq was a little bit older. The year before,
we'll see. Wait till the end of the list.
Yes, give me a second. Before, so moving on to number 3. Rip Hamilton, the 2004 Detroit Pistons / Rasheed Wallace, because the de facto number 1 and number 2 on those teams were Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups won Finals MVP. Ben Wallace is the only member in the Hall of Fame. That tells you enough right there. No slight to Rip or Rasheed.
So I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Because so does Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace, do they remind you at all of Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo?
Yes, they do. And I've been saying, oh my goodness, good shit, because I thought about that. I did think about
the only difference is I think Billups had better court vision, but that's because he's a traditional point guard, and Jimmy Butler obviously is not. He's a small forward, but he's had to be in that guard position. But it's very similar. I mean, Ben Wallace is. Oh, here we go. He said, "Bam ain't no fucking Ben."
You're right. Bam is not Ben. Yeah, absolutely right. Bam is the opposite of what Ben was on defense on offense. He's a consistent threat on offense, while Ben was a consistent threat on defense.
But at the same time, here's where I push back on saying that Bam is not a Ben, is they're built almost the exact same. They're shorter players who've had to play the 4 and the 5 guarding big-time centers.
Speak on it.
Your Bam Adebayos, your Ben Wallaces, your Amari Stoudemire's, your smaller players who have to play the 4 and the 5 because you don't truly have a true big. Granted, that Pistons team did have Rasheed Wallace, but what was his biggest problem? Foul trouble.
Technical foul.
So what did that mean? Ben had to play a lot of 4 and 5 because Rasheed was always in foul trouble, getting texts, kind of like Draymond Green, who I almost forgot to mention too. Draymond Green is another one of those that's like a 4-5 hybrid, if you will. Like all of those guys were those hybrids before you got those 5s, like your Joel Embiid who started stepping out and shooting 3s, like your Karl Anthony Towns, like before those, your Giannis's, before those players came about, you've had players that are built like this. It's not a slight at Ben, it's a compliment because Ben Wallace was one of the first of his kind. And I'm glad that players in the NBA, that we still have players like that, because Ben had to guard Shaq. And Ben swatted Shaq shot a few times. Like down. And Ben had a stupid vertical for not being a 7-footer.
Facts.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. Sure. Okay. Going back to this list, number 3. My bad. Number 2. I couldn't choose between these two, so I wrote them as 2A and 2B.
Okay.
They played for 2 different teams when they won championships. So, 2B, Lamar Odom on the 2009 and 2010 Lakers team. And somebody's out there talking about, well, what about Andrew Bynum? Well, Andrew Bynum was hurt the first time they won. Andrew Bynum could barely play the second time they won. / Drew Holiday. the perfect
Damn.
complement for Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo, because all three of them were very good defenders. All three of them are very good defenders. All three of them could score the ball on all three levels. I have no words to describe what Drew Holiday meant to that Milwaukee Bucks championship team. And you know I'm a big Drew Holiday fan since UCLA. And last but not least, I'm gonna wait for GQ to get back on camera because he needs to be on camera for this one. He has to be back on camera for this one. But just to elaborate a little bit more for the people that forgot about Lamar Odom was one of the first key pieces that were traded to come to the Lakers to help Kobe win a championship. Even though Kobe demanded a trade, they got Paul Gasol later. Then they drafted Andrew Bynum, and as y'all know, the rest is history. Right?
Had to go grab a special guest that decided not to go to sleep.
Calissa, what's
She was screaming
up?
her doggone head off.
She
You
over
wanna
there
say hi?
smiling. Hey,
You gonna say hi?
that's my
Alright.
girl. All right.
Y'all already
And,
know.
and the number one on my list, third best option. We had a conversation about this a couple of weeks ago. And for those who are going to say, well, what about Draymond? What about him? It's absolutely ridiculous that Draymond Green might go to the Hall of Fame and Rasheed Wallace doesn't. Okay, so that's my stance on Draymond Green. The number one, Jeremy, go on and flash that shirt for him real quick. The number one third wheel since the year 2000 for me can only go to the one and only guy from Dallas, Texas, who won 2 championships in Miami. Chris Bosh. I don't need to explain nothing else. From the rebound to the pass to Ray Allen to the block to save Game 6 to him having the best record when the other two don't play out of the big three in Miami, which is very, very underrated because a lot of people don't know that. So I think Chris Bosh lost 2 games when D Wade and LeBron didn't play. I mean, 20-10 guy when he was in Toronto. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Chris Bosh.
Bro,
For sure.
Go look at his numbers prior to Miami. It's not like the dude was a slouch in Toronto. Like,
and it's not he was putting up 20-10 and not making the playoffs because he was. This was not a Kevin Love situation. Was not. One year he averaged 24-10. I don't want to hear it. So the best third option since the year 2000 is Chris Bosh. All you Draymond Green fans, suck it. I don't care. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm with it. If I had an applause button right now, I would applaud. I like it. I'm a fan.
I think that would have been my second applaud button this week after my my epic rant on Monday. I hope you caught that one.
Yeah,
I
caught some pieces of it, and it was definitely, it wasn't too bad. I guess I'll throw another honorable mention out there, even though the team hasn't won a championship, but he is definitely a third wheel of a team, and that is Marcus Smart. I'll throw him out there because there are just times, like just in the last 5 years, when it seems like the Celtics are out of a game, here comes Marcus Smart dropping threes out of nowhere, and that shit is mind blowing. Like, but it
annoys me at times.
It does. It annoyed me during the Miami series. I was like, bro, and I knew it. I'm watching him like, bro, Marcus Smart finna start hitting threes. Like, I just knew it. I was like, he finna hit these threes, and sure enough, that's what happens. So,
that dude will start to wheel the ball in the basket. It is crazy.
Like, no, and it just goes to it's just a testament to him as a player, like being a smaller guy who was kind of, I ain't gonna say overlooked. I mean, he went to Oklahoma State. You can't be overlooked and you went to the Big 12, because when we talk about college basketball, you watch the Big 12 for a lot of your college basketball stars. The Big 12, the ACC, like you know these guys. Like, it ain't like Marcus Smart was unknown. Just like Trae Young when he went to Oklahoma, he went from being unknown to known really quickly. So something about that Big 12 put some spotlight on it. So just to give everybody an update for those who are not watching the game, it is 29-all in the second quarter. So we are having ourselves a back and forth game 3, which is a hell of an exciting game. Let me run down these stats for you real quick. Jamal Murray's got 8 points. Jokic has 10. Aaron Gordon's got 2. Michael Porter Jr.'s got 2. And
I don't
that's
expect nothing more from Michael Porter Jr.
all the points of relevance. Gabe Vincent's got 5. Butler's got 10. Adebayo's got 9. Kevin Love with 3. Kyle Lowry's got 2.
Kevin Love scored? Wow.
Yeah. So far, Gordon's in foul trouble and Caldwell Pope. Both have 2. Nobody else has more than 1 at the moment. Butler and Adebayo both have blocks. And let's see who's killing the game from 3. So far, nobody's really killing it from 3. Kevin Love's 1 for 2. Gabe Vincent's 1 of 2. The Nuggets are 1 for 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 of 7 from 3 right now.
Okay.
But here's what I know about the Denver Nuggets. And I've talked about this with some people because there are those who like to look at stats and analytics and all that type of shit like that. The Nuggets have the biggest discrepancy home versus road when it comes to wins. They actually drop considerably on the road. They obviously, as you can tell from the stats, they didn't lose a lot at home. They lost like once since like March. Like it was stupid. But then when they go on the road, they literally drop like 30%.
Well, they've been undefeated at home so far. Miami is the only team that beat them at home.
So all I'm saying, these next 2 games are going to tell a big story about the finals.
Speaking of differentials, how about your team before this game being plus 90 in the fourth quarter throughout the whole playoffs?
I saw that, and that was stupid.
Point differential.
Well, they showed the first, second, third, and fourth quarter, and like the fourth quarter, they like it's a massive difference. Like, but it just goes to show you, clutch is clutch. It doesn't matter if you're a superstar, an all-star, a G League, or whatever. Clutch is clutch. And when
not only that, what I took away from that was that just shows Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA right now because he knows how to turn it on and make whatever adjustments he needs to make throughout the game. And in the fourth quarter, he has it figured out every single time because you're not only going to be plus 90 in the fourth quarter just by outscoring people. You are stopping people, and Eric Spoelstra doesn't play his best hand until the fourth quarter to bring it home.
No, and not only that, and I've said this, I'll stand on this mountain. I don't care if I'm by myself or not. You have to blow Miami out. If it's close, you just might lose. And close to the Miami Heat is 15 and under.
Yeah.
Like, if you're up by 15, you still ain't out of the woods with this team yet. Like, obviously, we just saw that in the previous game. They were down 15, and that shit didn't last. Because what did they do in the fourth quarter? A 17-2 run. What did they do in the third quarter? A 14-4 run. Like, they are literally like, playing the Miami Heat is like dealing with Rocky Balboa. He will take every single bit of your best shot, and then he will knock you the fuck out.
Yep.
And the Heat will take your best shot, and then they will get up, dust themselves off, and give you their best shot. And it just might wear you the fuck out. Dirt off your shoulder.
Somebody got it.
So that's how that goes. So
shall we move on?
Yes, let's move on. Let's bring it down just a tad. Then we're going to highlight this show and bring it to an all-time phenomenal level. But we got to get this real talk knocked out first. You know it. All right. So, yes, of course, I played 2042. Season 5 just started today, and I was playing a couple of hours ago before we did all this stuff.
Good shot by Kevin Martin. Goodness.
100%. So, we on this real talk. So, for those who have been around the world of Gentleman Talk since we kicked off, you know, when we start talking about relationships and certain keywords, we tend to spark interest in things. So, I came up with this one in particular because every now and again I'll be on like TikTok or something when I'll be just scrolling. Speaking of TikTok, before I get into this, did you know that the average person swipes up on TikTok enough to the height of a skyscraper in New York City?
Well, I do not add to that because I am definitely not on TikTok. So
I absolutely add to the Twin Towers because I be when I be in it, I be in it. Like, boy, my algorithm is all over the fucking place. But
oh man.
I bring that up specifically because somehow my algorithm has brought me into the world of toxic. You got all these people, all these influencers that are embracing toxicity. And I'm like, but why? And like, depends on what side of this, what side of this spectrum you want to live on. There are some that embrace it because, hey, they're going to be toxic to me. I'm going to keep that same energy and I'm going to max that toxic with them. There are those. Then there are those who are attracted to toxic, which blows my mind. First of all, why the fuck would you be attracted to red flags and toxicity is beyond me. And then there are those who are just so toxic that it's disgusting, and yet there is a massive amount of people that are literally gravitated towards it. So my question to you, my co-host DJ Mike, would be, why do we embrace toxicity in society?
I think people just embrace toxicity because it's the fun thing to do right now. Toxic is just a hot word right now. Like the red flags thing, toxic go hand in hand. The red flags thing was a real big thing for the past couple of years. And now, because the red flags thing is a big thing, people are going to fire back and they call it toxic. And a lot of times, it's just embraced because that's what you have in your head. That doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to do, but it feels good when you do it. You know,
don't feel good to me.
I mean, it don't feel good to me being toxic, but people, they embrace whatever you do to them, do back to them. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things where it's dumb, and it just gets followers. Yeah, shut up, goat. Okay. So, still my guy though. But yeah, I mean, just I don't know why it's so big. I don't know why it's a catchy thing. Toxic, it has to be the stupidest thing, and I mean, it gets views. You argue, somebody records it, you put it on social media, it gets views.
The argument can be made that we are, as a society, just toxic in general.
That's probably
excuse me. Instead of breaking up a fight, the first thing we do is we pull out our phone and record it. Instead of helping somebody in a potential domestic, semi-domestic violence situation, some guy, beating on a woman, or vice versa, some woman that decide I'm gonna start teeing off on this dude because he's not gonna hit me. We just record it. We don't break it up, because there's, when there's many involved, a lot of things can happen. So yeah, all right, cool. I understand if you're by yourself and you don't want to get involved because maybe you can't fight, and that's cool. Kudos to you for recognizing that you can't fight. Got you. But if there's yeah, true. But when there's a group of you, like multiple of you, like more than three of you can at the minimum grab one of them, push them off to the side, get in between. There's lots of things that can happen. Now, granted, do you want to take the chance of it escalating into something worse? Probably not. But sometimes it's okay to just stop something from getting worse. But we don't do that.
I agree.
Instead, we embrace it. Like when a student decides to put their hands on a teacher and we record it, instead of stopping that teacher from getting hit, hurt, whatever, we record it because we're waiting for that teacher to do what any self-respecting adult's going to do, introduce that child to the fuck around and find out community.
I was waiting for you to say it because I sure was gonna say it.
Because it's the truth. Like this very emboldened generation that thinks it's perfectly okay to put their hands on an adult, even if it's a high school kid, let's just say 15 years old, putting your hands on a teacher that's typically from somewhere around our age or older, or sometimes a brand new teacher that's around 25-ish or so, whatever the case might be. But you put your hands on an adult, point blank, period. What do you think's going to happen? I'm sorry. What do you think should happen? Because here's the problem. The first thing is you have zero idea who that teacher is. You just know them as a teacher. You don't know who they are when they take the badge off, when they in their comfortable clothes. You don't know what kind of background they got. Like you have no idea. Like let's put this into a perspective that you and I will be very familiar with. Let's take a HISD teacher at an HISD high school, dealing with kids that are from Third Ward, Southwest Side, all that type of junk like that. Where the fuck you think them teachers from?
The same damn place.
So do you really want to fuck around and find out what that teacher is about because you want to push buttons?
That's a good example, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's a real good example.
Because am I wrong though? Like
no, you're definitely right.
With a teacher and you go to a school, like let's say you go to Lamar. Let's say you go to Lamar, and I'm not talking about Lamar and Bowman. I'm talking about Lamar, the high school in the southwest side of Houston.
Yeah.
And you fuck with the wrong teacher that is probably from the southwest, or you go to A-Leaf High School and you fuck with a teacher that's from A-Leaf. Like, what the fuck you think finna happen? You go to Channelview, North Shore, and you fuck around with a teacher that's from them particular areas. You go to the schools that you and I went to. You go to Baytown, Lee, Baytown, Sterling, GCM, BCA for all that matter, and you fuck with somebody that's from Baytown and you don't know what side of Baytown they're from, whether it's Central Heights, whether it's from Magnet, whether it's from Old Baytown or Oak Addition, or you don't know. You gonna fuck around and find out real quick.
Real quick.
And you ain't gonna know what to do when they pop your ass in the mouth. That's all I'm saying. That's important.
Oh man,
you need to be the lack of awareness of surroundings of this generation is mind blowing. I am fortunate. I'm gonna knock on this real quick. Then none of these kids have tried to test me.
I was just about to get there and be like, so I hope none of these kids ever try you because Lord.
Nah, they talk. Talk is cool. Like we'll roast. And you know this. You've done the same with the kids that you've dealt with in the communities and schools and all that stuff like that. Yeah. They go as far as roasting. And I'm like, hey, that's cool. You can roast. Just don't be surprised if I light your ass on fire. Cause I'm not finna like don't dish it if you can't get it back. Cause I promise you, and I tell this to these kids and I say it to anybody, all right? I'm like, listen, if you try to deliver that smoke to me, I promise you, I deliver this motherfucker faster than Amazon same day shipping.
Hey,
this smoke comes in waves, and the smoke, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. And when I start smoking you, I'm finna set your ass smooth on fire.
I remember working in junior high, and there was a kid, and he was like, "Ooh, bro, this one, bro, and it just had got hot." This was like
got you.
That man was like, "Ooh, bro, I'll fire you up." I said, "Dude, I don't know how old you are." He was in 6th grade. I said, "I don't know how old you are, but I suggest that you shut the hell up while you're ahead. Because the minute I decide to roast you, you're going to cry home to your parents." And he was like, "You can't roast nobody." He said whatever he said. But 15 minutes straight, I proceeded to roast this little 6th grader to the point where he started crying. And he was like, "Man, you're mean." And this was like, "I told you leave me alone, but you wanted to do it. So welcome to the club. I have a platinum membership to. Fuck around and find out."
I'm going to put it to you like this. Here's what these kids need to understand. We are from the generation of roasting. This is what we did during lunch. There was a rap song that came out while we was in high school, middle school, going into high school. I'm sorry. Looking Boy. Like, if you like, that is how we were able to test what kind of a backbone you had. Is if somebody cracked a joke, whether it was a your mama joke or whatever it was, could you roast back? But here's the great thing. Here's the greatest thing about that. For the most part, I'm gonna say about 88% of the time, it didn't resort in a fight breaking out. Now it would absolutely resort in a roast battle happening. 100%. 100%. But it might turn into a round table of roasting where all of a sudden there's about 6, 7, 8 cats involved.
Well, the problem was back then, you couldn't be mad that somebody roasted you and tried to fight because everybody was going to jump you since you want to be soft.
Well, there's that. And then I'm like, let's take an easy example, right? If somebody was roasting you for being ashy, could you really be mad?
No.
Like, fam,
Put lotion on.
let me look. Us melanated folk, if you wasn't carrying lotion in your backpack or in your locker, you was slipping. Because if you know one thing about Texas, boy, it's bipolar than the motherfucker out here.
I'm guilty.
And when it's cold outside and your ass at that bus stop, oh yeah, check your hands when you get on the bus. Them hoes look like you've been fighting with Johnson & Johnson baby powder and you lost. Like, don't, like, if you didn't, like,
A family company.
or you had to know the females that was carrying the Bath and Body Works lotion, because we was all rocking that the
Facts.
Japanese cherry blossom. We was doing it. Like,
Big facts.
if you wasn't carrying cocoa butter like a lot of us was, you had to go find the females that had the Bath and Body Works lotion. You just did. Or, if your mama was cool, you had someone, you kept it in your locker. Whatever the case might be. Simple. Or if you had chapped lips, hey fam, I'm sorry, you asked for it. Chapstick don't cost that much. Chapstick back then was damn near less than $1 at one point.
Yeah, I'm about to say, did you have $1 in your pocket? You can afford some chapstick.
Like, boy, you could buy a little round of Carmex for like 80 cents.
Yeah,
that would last you forever. It felt like
forever, because it's going to last you at least 3 or 4 winters.
Yeah, or like like there were certain things you're like, all right, if you clowning like somebody like dusty ass shoes, I'm like, all right, it's a little different, because you don't know everybody's situation. Somebody might be having some hand-me-downs, or some thrift store type of shit. You don't know. But if you allowed it to be a target, you had to be able to defend yourself accordingly. That's just what it is. I notoriously got told that me and one of my classmates, Reggie Butler, we always got told that we was Oreos because we was black folks that talk proper. So they always called us Oreos.
Oh, Reggie Butler, that's funny.
Yeah, but that was because he was from Michigan. But, you know what I'm saying, we didn't talk like everybody else. We talk more proper, and I'm like, so
I didn't need it.
Yeah, but it was a point for them to roast, but I'm like, yeah, you could do that, but I'm intelligent, which means I'm about to fuck you up.
Nor do I care that you say I talk like a white person, because while you think that's an insult to me, I feel good about myself because that means I know how to talk proper no matter where I go. I fit in.
100%. And not everybody can say that. There's a time and a place for Ebonics and everything else, and the corporate world is not the place for that.
But you know what? We strayed away a little bit. Let's get back to this toxic thing.
Did we really we strayed away a little bit, but overall, the most important thing about it is we need to do better.
Yeah.
Let's just start with that. We need to do better.
Stop making a toxic trend, man. Y'all gotta stop this. There's nothing cool about toxic. There's nothing amazing about toxic. All that shows to us is you're ignorant. You're ignorant.
My toxic trait is shut the fuck up. Stupid.
My toxic trait is that too. Ask Goat. Go to tell you.
But yeah, quick update on the game. 47-44. Miami's down by 3. 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. So not too bad. This might be the highest scoring game of the series, because this is kind of getting there. Now I know game 2 ended, I think it was a 7-point game and a half. It was like 50-57, something like that.
Yeah, close.
But they're scoring
going to be even closer.
They're scoring at a relatively high clip. Like they scored, both teams. Well, it was 24. It was tied at 24 at the end of the first. It's currently 23-20 in the second. So not too bad.
Well, shall we do it? Shall we get into our fun topic of the day?
Absolutely. Oh, hell no.
Bruce Brown for Finals MVP. For what?
Bruce Brown got 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, and 2 of his 5 points came from free throws.
I got it. Bruce Brown ain't even Bruce Bowen in the finals. Let's move on.
He said, or KCP, who has yet to score a point in this game.
Next thing you're gonna tell me, Michael Porter Jr. deserves to be Finals MVP. Yeah, okay.
Nah, he gonna say Michael Porter should be up for the Supermax.
Somebody please get on the court and find Michael Porter Jr. for me, because he ain't been here the whole series.
That's like trying to find.
His team is in Miami. He got left in Sacramento, I assume, because this ain't making no sense
At all. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get to what I like to call the highlight of this show today. We have been talking about this. So, for those who've been following us back on the pod, we used to do these top 5 lists. This particular topic, we easily could have went top 10. We just could have. It's very easy, easily. And your goat would talk. We talked earlier, and he was like, "Oh, so are you guys gonna have like Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff?" I said, "Well, if you pay attention closely, the thumbnail here had Cartoon Network, had Nickelodeon, had Boomerang, had
no anime.
We know that Toonami was a big part of our childhood, but there are other shows that were a lot more iconic prior to us discovering Dragon Ball Z and Inuyasha and Samurai Jack and Afro Samurai. All these other shows. You know what?
We'll come back to anime.
Yeah, we'll come back. There'll be a whole show because I'm gonna bring Moolage on for that because he wants to talk anime anyway. So we'll have a whole anime roundtable when it comes to that. But we are going to get into our top 5 childhood shows. Obviously, both of our lists will have some differences. We didn't even discuss what our top 5 was because it just makes this whole thing much more compelling.
It does.
So,
and I wouldn't be surprised if we only had maybe one show that's the same.
I was kind of thinking that, and we're gonna find out. So the format that we'll do this in, just so everybody, when you guys continue to watch moving forward, we're gonna go from 5 to 1. He'll give his 5, I'll give my 5, or vice versa. We'll go back and forth until we get to number 1, and then we'll discuss.
Yeah, I'm with it.
So let's get on to number 5.
Well, so let's get on to number 5.
Tell us your number 5.
I will take y'all away. This is one of my favorite all-time cartoons, obviously because it's top 5. But what makes it so classic is the theme song. I'm pretty sure Mr. GQ does not have this on his list, and that is okay. Because it probably would have made his top 10 had it been the top 10. But the song simply goes, "It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax. You laugh till you collapse. The Animaniacs." And I could keep going with the song. Animaniacs is my number 5. Animaniacs is my number 5 because it was a show about a cartoon series on a movie lot that wasn't scripted. It was
hella educational. Amazing. It was hella educational. Like, boys, we learned our 50 states from Animaniacs.
Countries of the world.
Countries. We learned a lot from a show like this, and it was just these 3 fucking characters with 3 different personalities. This is all pre like Ed, and Eddie and all that type of stuff. Like,
not only that, this show launched Pinky and the Brain. Yes. It launched the Pigeon, the Goodfellow show. It launched the Mindy show when Mindy was mean to animals. It launched all of that. This Animaniacs was huge to kids in the 90s.
This was massive to Warner Brothers in general.
Yeah.
Like, whether you talk movies, anything, Animaniacs was massive to them in general.
Yeah, so, for sure.
So I fucks with that. So being the sports guy that I am, no one should be surprised by my number 5, but let me give it to you anyway. Rocket Power. Everybody and their mama had that crew. Somebody was either on the skateboard, the bicycles, the scooters, or the rollerblades. You always had that crew. I was the rollerblader of the crew. Like, Rocket Power was my shit. It was a phenomenal show. It was one of those, like, I don't know. You had the new kid that moved in, kind of nerdy kid, but dude was ended up being a phenomenal ass hockey player. Dude was catching hockey pucks with his hand and shit. You had the one cool guy, Otto. Like, everybody wanted to be like Otto. You had the badass tomboy chick of the show. Like, just like any other normal crew you would see in any neighborhood you would go to. Like, that's how, like, and Rocket Power for me was just a dope ass show. Like, I could watch Rocket Power for hours. Like, it was just dope. I don't know why it was such a dope show. Because
hours. Rocket Power was the show that made for black kids like ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we watch X Games and stuff. Rocket Power was the show that made extreme sports
Yes.
popular and cool? Because I was watching X Games, I was watching skateboarding, rollerblading, all that before Rocket Power came out, and everybody was like, "You're lame." That's cool. When Rocket Power came out, everybody started watching.
But them same people started playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Yeah, well, I still got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
And look, and tried to do all the BMX tricks, started having pegs on their bikes.
What was the move? What was the move? Otto said, somebody said, Goat said, Courage Cowley Dog, Kick Batowski, Chavo de Ocho, regular show in South Park. Yeah, we'll get to that because a lot of your list is irrelevant. Okay.
It's not a bad list.
Not a bad list.
Dog Courage the Cowardly Dog would have made my top 15 for sure.
Yeah, it would have made my top. Yeah.
Courage was like a creepy ass show to watch late at night, like right after Tom and Jerry, because it was definitely kind of strange. But on to number 4.
You go ahead and give me your number 4 first, as I go in number 5 first.
So number 4, and it's weird because it's like I can't call it's a childhood show, but then like it's not a childhood show. Depends on how you want to look at it. But for me, it was The Simpsons.
Oh, I thought you was gonna go Family Guy. Okay, I messed with it.
No, not yet. So
okay,
The Simpsons, because Simpsons have been around a lot longer, a whole lot longer. Like
Simpsons has been around 40 plus years now. So
yeah. But The Simpsons was like the most adult cartoon we had, obviously before South Park and Family Guy and Rick and Morty and Futurama. Simpsons was the OG. It was the OG, but for some reason, as kids, our parents allowed us to watch The Simpsons. And as an adult, you look at it and you're like, wait, we just watched a grown-ass man who works at a nuclear power plant go to a bar, get drunk, and do dumb shit. Like, we watched this as a kid. We watched a badass toddler like the one I got behind me right now, who was driving, shooting Mr. Burns with a revolver. He's a whole-ass Paris. You got Bart Simpson, who was like the worst kind of kid in school, doing the most. Him and his principal were on a first name basis. Reminds me of my high school days with me and my principal. We knew each other by first name. And then you had Lisa, the know-it-all, the smarty pants, the valedictorian, basically like the smart one who did all the right things. And then you had Marge. Yeah, you had Marge. I don't know what to call Marge. Marge was everywhere. Some days Marge was the some days she would hold it all together. Other days she would fall the fuck apart. Some other days she would, oh shit, we lost our co-host. All right, he'll be back in a minute. Some days she would be staring across the yard at Ned Flanders because he took his shirt off and boys didn't know that my man had a whole ass undercover build underneath that sweater that he wear all the time. Like, he's back.
I'm back. I don't know what happened there. It just went away.
Hey. It happens. But yeah, but she was definitely all over the place. Oh, your goat said you picked Jeff Green in a 3v3.
Better than Kevin Love, you jackass.
Oh, shit. Clearly, as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, Goat and DJ Micah B have a tendency of going at it no matter what show they're on together or what chat is going on. So we got 53-48 at the half. The Denver Nuggets are up. Not too bad. As far as stats go, Jamal Murray has decided to awaken. He has 20 points. Jokic has got 14. And no one else is in double figures. For the Heat, same old two-step. Jimmy Butler's got 14. Bam Adebayo's got 13. Strus and Vincent combined for 8 points. Caleb Martin's got 8. So the Miami Heat role players, not role players, however you want to define them, have got to come through in the second half, which I have no worries. I'm not worried about that. Second half will be pretty fire. So give us your number 4, sir.
Number 4 is one of my favorite shows of all time. It is about a Milanan family like myself, and the theme song goes, "The Proud Family. What? You and me will always be tied. Family every single day and night." Okay, y'all get the gist. Come on, bro.
Proud Family.
Do I really need to say anything else? Wizard Keller was Magic Johnson. I don't know who Bobby was, but Bobby had the greatest song ever on They Want the Phone. You know, Oscar was a entrepreneur dad who wasn't making a lot of money. Trudy was a veterinarian. And then you had Penny and the Friends. There was absolutely nothing that we couldn't relate to with Penny and her friends. Absolutely nothing.
You've
I
seen
love-
plenty of you've seen plenty of friend groups that are like that.
Penny and La Cienega had a rivalry, and we see that all the time in friend groups, not in LXG, because we're all brothers, and I hope there's none of that in LXG. I would assume there isn't. But
not that I've ever seen.
yeah, so I absolutely, I'm pretty sure you share the same sentiment. I loved the Proud Family, bro. It was one of the few times we've seen a black family represented in a cartoon show.
Yeah, because we had, before that, we had movies. We had like Bebe's Kids, stuff like that. But like, then we had Waynehead, the BJs. Waynehead was funny as hell. That was a dope ass theme song too.
That's the name of the dang show. I couldn't remember. Yeah,
we had Little Bill.
Little Bill. Yep.
Like but the Proud Family was for us. It was modern. It was for us.
It was. So who you got number 4?
I already gave you my 4. We on 3. And we on
sorry. Okay, well, so I'm going number 3.
Yep, we on 3. Honorable mention for me, Teen Titans.
God damn, my number 3 is Teen Titans.
Oh well, that's his honorable mention, but it just shows who has more class. So talk to us about Teen Titans, and no, we ain't talking about that whack ass newer version of Teen Titans.
No, we're not talking about Teen Titans Go.
Hey, low-key, me and my daughter been watching the Teen Titans cartoon on HBO Max. I've been getting her put on game.
So Teen Titans was basically, you got to see Robin lead his own group, because no matter what anybody says, Robin was as important as Batman, and that is a fact. In
100%.
in the Batman animated series, in the Batman animated movie series, it doesn't matter. In Teen Titans, he's the leader. He runs it. They were freaking amazing. The Teen Titans were so great. And Teen Titans Go has made a freaking mockery of Teen Titans.
100%. Yeah, Teen Titans Go made a mockery of it, but Titans, the live action version, has definitely done it justice, because holy shit, Titans is dark. The storyline is, initially it was a little weird, but then it just got real crazy real fast. But if you have not watched the live action Titans, man, are you slipping? Because the last season is out right now. I actually just finished it yesterday. I was not happy about that. I was like, that's the type of show that'll get you hooked real fast. So we've seen 3 separate versions of Titans. We've seen Teen Titans, we've seen Teen Titans Go, and we've seen the live action, which we call Titans. Like I said, Titans is a phenomenal show. If you want to watch a live action version, the only difference between the live action and the cartoon is that Nightwing is in charge of the Nightwing of the Titans, and Robin is just a character, not the leader of the Teen Titans, which is how the Teen Titans were originally designed, is for Nightwing to take over the team, not Robin. But if you look at how the animated movies and everything has gone, Nightwing eventually kind of goes off and does his own thing, and then Robin takes over. So if you've been watching the DC animated universe, you will see that this is where Damian Wayne took over. Damian Wayne, in my opinion, the best Robin, but that's neither here nor there. Just because he's so far different from every other Robin that we have, and it's because he's actually
what can you expect?
It's Bruce's son. It's Bruce's actual son, but it's the fact that he's so different. So, not to get too far off topic real quick, but for those who have not seen it at all, Damian Wayne is the son of Bruce and Talia, which is Ra's al Ghul's daughter. So, if you haven't watched any of it, I'm telling you right now, you need to get into it. You need to watch it, because you will be missing out on something phenomenal. But let me jump into my number 3. My number 3 is going to upset some people, because, man, why is that not higher? Well, because it's just not. But number 3 for me, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, baby.
I didn't go with Mighty Morphin because it wasn't a cartoon.
It was we said childhood. It's an important show in our childhood.
It is. It definitely is.
Like, without question. Like, and it's of my list, it's definitely the only one that's not animated, but it was an extremely big time childhood show, just like my daughter's childhood is showing me JJ right now, as you guys can see. But do I need to explain to the world about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
No, I don't think you should.
It's so self-explanatory that if you were born anywhere from 1985 to 1994, you're very much familiar with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like it was a part of your life.
All the series.
All of them. Because, I mean, me and most likely you as well. I mean, I was all the way up in Lost Galaxy. Still one of my all-time favorite Power Rangers.
Like Rescue.
And for one, Lost Galaxy probably had one of the best theme songs, point blank, period.
Power Rangers, Lost Galaxy.
Like, yeah. And then, of course, the Magna Defender just looked like one of the baddest motherfuckers. Like, he did.
He did.
The sword that turned into a shotgun, dude had a bull for him. Like, it was just fire. But the original, the OG,
Magna Defender was the truth.
Power Rangers. Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, Zach. Like, it was just what you needed in your life. It was great. It was a part of our Saturday morning because I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know when we were kids, me and DJ Micah B, Saturday started at about 7 o'clock in the morning and went till about 1.
6:30. Whenever Power Rangers in Space moved back to 6:30.
That's true. It did move back at one point. We had to wake up a tad bit early, but we didn't give a fuck.
That's the only day he woke up during the week at 6:30 and didn't give a damn about how tired he was.
He got too caught up in the Kick Batowski game instead of the series. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool, bro. Hey, cool story, bro. Do you think?
All right. So my number 2 is Hey Kalissa.
Look, he's saying hi.
Hopefully one day you will watch my number 2 on my list. Hola. And I think you're gonna appreciate this. I picked all animated series. So my number 2 happens to be one of the greatest theme songs ever, bruh. You understand what I say? Ever. It happens to be one of the greatest theme songs ever.
I'm ready for it.
And the theme song basically says, call me, beat me, if you want to reach me.
My man went with
Kim Possible.
That is
Kim Possible has got to be one of the greatest shows of our generation.
It's got to be one of the greatest theme songs of our generation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like,
it has to be one of the greatest shows ever.
Like, the theme song and the action in the opening credits was phenomenal.
Factual. So Kim Possible is my number 2 because I can go watch Kim Possible any time of the day and I'll sit there and watch it for hours. Even as an adult now, I will sit there and watch it for hours.
I'm with it. Hey, man, just boys had that on their phone. I don't want to hear none of that masculine shit. Boys had that shit on their phone.
I still got it on my phone. What you mean?
No, I'm just saying, like, we knew. I fucks with it. So that's solid. That's man. These are hella lists right here. I fucks with it.
It is.
Oh.
Shall I go to number 1 or you want to go with number 1? Oh no, you ain't done your 2 yet, huh?
Yeah, we still gotta go 2. So my number 2. Trying to make sure she knew. So I like that though. Kim Possible, that's hard in the paint. Like, that's hard to beat. So my number 2 is for the OGs out there. And the OGs that was born, in the 80s, they got to see this when it first came out. I had to watch this a little bit later in the game. But for me, it was Thundercats. Thundercats was my number 2. When I first watched this show, I ain't gonna lie, my man's in there, Thundercats. Oh, I was like, bro, that shit is fire. My man's sword got like 5 times the size of normal. Like, shit was fucking fire to me. And
I believe you because you look like that nigga now.
Yeah. Well, nowadays we see the memes and the gifs that float around with fucking Skeletor dumbass running away and shit. Like, so you blowing kisses to everybody.
Mwah.
There you go. Thank you, sweetie. So it's Thundercats for me, man. Like, it was just, I don't know what it was about that show to me that was just amazing. Like, the action for a show that came out in like I think it was the early 80s, if I remember correctly. Like, it was kind of ahead of its time as far as the action, the storytelling, and storytelling was very much, it was semi-mature. Like, these weren't just like regular, like, these are for kids stories. Like, there was some adult undertones in these stories. You had your love interest going on. You had bullshit going on, betrayals going on, like shit that we weren't prepared for, when we were little, because we weren't experienced in life yet. But Thundercats got you ready for all those things, because all that shit happened on the regular. So now we move on to numero uno. There's a little Spanish for you for today. The number ones. I'm actually legitimately interested in what your number one is going to be as he gets some allergies out of his system. But
yeah, well,
for the sake of how this goes, I must reveal my number one before he does.
My number one is split because I got a 1A and 1B and a 1C and 1D. And
damn, we got 4.
Well, I'm gonna explain why I got 4. Because both of them, they come from the same franchise, but they're two different. They're 4 different. 2 of them and 2 of them come from the same franchise, but they're 2 different shows. Right?
You know how I go.
Number 1 happens to be the greatest cartoon of them all. This is the definition of on site. I am talking about the greatest chase of them all, the cat and the mouse. And the reason why there's a 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D is because you can't have Tom and Jerry without having Tom and Jerry kids as well. Right? And it's the same franchise. It's just one of them is when they're younger and one of them is when they're older. So you got Tom and Jerry, and then you got it's the Tom and Jerry kids. The Tom and Jerry kids are all. If you grew up in my area, you know about Tom and Jerry kids.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Then of course the next franchise. I mean, I think this is pretty obvious. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? But wait, the greatest Scooby Doo song and series of them all.
There's a pup named Scooby Doo.
Scooby Dooby, Scooby Dooby, Scooby Dooby. There's a mystery in town. So call the greatest pup around and Scooby, a pup named Scooby. That's why there's 4 of them.
Hey, a pup named Scooby Doo was fire.
2 and 2. Scooby Doo and Tom and Jerry are the goats of children cartoons. My mom watched Scooby Doo, Where Are You? And I watched Scooby Doo, Where Are You? My mom loved the pup named Scooby Doo, and I loved the pup named Scooby Doo. She loved Tom and Jerry and Tom and Jerry kids. I love Tom and Jerry and Tom and Jerry kids. And for those of you out there talking about what happened to Tiny Toon Adventures, what happened to Looney Tunes, this and that, yeah, well, they didn't make the list.
Hey, I love Looney Tunes. It's our top 5. You can have whatever you like for your top 5. Pick and choose what you like. So let's round this out. And it's ironic. It's not ironic. It's not ironic to me. It's so for me, it's very simple. My number one, because it still relates to my adult life as it is now, still. And it is Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, of course. I knew that was gonna come up.
No, so and while I'm giving you my number one, I'll give you my honorable mention because my honorable mention was my first love into action cartoon shows. And it was also, in my opinion, just like how you said what you said about Kim Possible and the greatest theme song. I was a big fan of this theme song, and I thought it was one of the greatest theme songs of all time. And it is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, baby.
Oh, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles. Like, hey, phenomenal show. Before I fell into just obsession with all things Batman, Ninja Turtles was my first obsession. I had the backpacks, the lunch kits. I had all the toys. I had the turtles that turned into manhole covers. Like I had them into manhole covers. I had the big ass heads that opened up into the little toys with the little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles inside the little areas with all the bad guys. Like I had every single Ninja Turtle thing that was out. I wore the shirts. Like if I wasn't wearing a WWF shirt, I was wearing a Ninja Turtle shirt. Like
I had a Ninja Turtle game on Nintendo.
I had that game too. Like I was ridiculously obsessed with the Ninja Turtles. I don't know why. I didn't grow up with 3 brothers. I didn't have a crew like that at the time. Not yet. Like it was just watching these 4 turtles fight this one fucking guy who was whooping their ass. No matter what they
Shredder
did.
was kicking their ass.
Shredder was the truth, bro. Shredder was like, Shredder was
first
like
thing first, let's Uncle Phil.
Yeah. Like Shredder was like Darth Vader. No matter what you did, you couldn't fuck with him. Yeah, you tell him. You're going to get introduced to it too. But like I said, Batman the Animated Series is my all-time because, one, I'm a Batman junkie. Batman is my guy. Always has been. I carry a pop of Batman in my work bag. He goes with me everywhere. He's been on deployments with me. He has been on hurricane missions with me. Like, he has been everywhere with me. That is my dog.
What about Beyond?
I love Batman Beyond.
Batman
do too. Beyond is my second favorite Batman. So, like, there's Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond.
Shout out to everybody.
There's the Batman. For me, there's the Batman, which is actually pretty damn good as well. Those are my three favorite Batmans that have ever come out. Then, of course, there's all the movies. I can't even rate the movies for you because they're all great. Girl, stop breaking stuff. This is what happens when you have kids, folks. All right? Just so y'all know.
Bye, Melissa.
She'll be back. But by the time she comes back, we'll be done with the show.
Yeah.
So, we're not talking about anime, all right? Not necessarily. Like, yes, cartoons are considered animated shows, but anime has become its own category because it's so vast. So we will have a separate top 5 when we talk about anime. And
you want to do that next week?
Maybe, because there is a good chance that we have an interview next week. So
right.
So we'll have to push that one back just a little bit. But he's right. GT, but see, here's the thing. I'm gonna address it just because GT is underrated only to the casual watcher of Dragon Ball Z. It just is. Because Dragon Ball GT is fire. Like, if you didn't watch Dragon Ball GT, I feel sorry for you. Because if you thought Dragon Ball Super was as amazing as it is, you need to go back and watch Dragon Ball GT. There's a lot of shit that happened in Dragon Ball GT that was amazing.
There was a lot of good stuff in Dragon Ball GT, but there was a lot of bad stuff in Dragon Ball GT. Like the Baby Saga is amazing.
Oh man,
Omega Shenron Saga is amazing.
Dude, Omega Shenron is arguably one of the best sagas across the board
ever. Yeah,
across the board. Like that, like it's up there with the Brawly one. It's up there with Cell. Like, it's up there with the Majin Buu saga, which for me, the Majin Buu saga is like the GOAT of sagas, but that's just because there was so many.
I lean with the Cell saga. I do.
No, and I love the Cell saga, but like it was just more. I hate to say there were more layers, but I have a personal feelings towards it because it introduced the world to my all-time favorite version of Vegeta, which is Majin Vegeta. So that's where but
I get it because.
And that's true.
Other than Frieza, Majin Buu is the only other person to successfully blow up the damn Earth.
Fuck the bullshit. Kid Buu was a motherfucker.
Kid Buu was that guy, bro.
No,
Kid Buu fucked shit up.
Bro, I feel like, bro, if Kid Buu was a little bit stronger, Kid Buu would have fucked everything up. There wouldn't have been nothing left.
Bro, the fact of the matter is, Kid Buu killed the whole Earth.
Yeah.
Jumped to the afterlife and started whooping everybody ass again.
Bro, when you say, you know what? I'm gonna go put this Halo on and go whoop some more ass. Bro. Oh, like facts. Kid Buu is him. 100%. Kid Buu said, "Oh, you thought this ass whooping was over? I'm gonna follow you to the afterlife and I'm gonna beat your ass again. When you go to the grave, I'm gonna beat your ass in the grave too."
Only reason why I mess with Cell more than Kid Buu, and people can think what they want to think, and I think you're gonna fuck with this point. Cell sat in the middle of the ring for 7 days waiting on these niggas to get stronger to come test his gangster.
Yeah,
he was like, you know what? Y'all niggas go do what y'all gotta do, and I'm gonna be right here waiting on you to come test this.
Look, get the hell out the chat with that shit. It's
Super
the Great
Saiyan
man, by the way.
He is.
Saiyan man. Nah, he ain't him.
The Great Saiyan Man is him.
Nah, he lame. He
Box office
lame as
wise.
hell.
Box office wise, he's him because he had his own movie. Can't even hate.
He messed up my boy. Hey, Android 18 couldn't catch a break. 18 was getting clapped all around the place.
Everybody wanted to clap 18.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to clap it. Hey, Krillin clapped the robot, dog. I can't even.
And got a kid.
Oh my God.
Oh man. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how we are going to wrap up this show. Make sure y'all let us know. Hey, jump in the chats. Hey man, shoot us a message. Let us know what your top 5 is, man. I'm just curious to see. Your top 5 should be different from our top 5s. That's just the way this whole thing is broken out. But check us out. Tune in next week. We got some more great things coming down for you. We are either going to have another one of them beautiful From the Sideline Chronicles going down, or we'll come up with another top 5 list just because it's that time of year. So, with all that being said, shout out to the chat. We appreciate y'all for being live and in color, being active with us. Make sure you are subscribe, following us on the TikTok, the YouTube, the Discord, the IG, the Facebook. Where we at? We all over the place. You can catch us on iHeartRadio, catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you catch your podcast, because the audio version will be available for those who can't catch the live stream. We here, we live, we not going nowhere. From the Sidelines is taking over. Make sure you bookmark that. I said it, and I'm going to keep saying it, because when it happened, don't be surprised. So all y'all that ain't been supporting us, when we blow up, don't be trying to borrow some free clout from us, because you ain't going to get it. If you ever listen to the audio version of Gentleman's Talk, I don't give out free clout. Ain't who I am. You got to earn that. But I am the CEO of Hoochie Daddy Incorporated. It is our season. Make sure if your shorts are 5 inches and under, you flaunt them things. Because that's what we do in the Hoochie Daddy world. 5-inch inseams and shorter. If you really want to get bold, you drop some of them 3-inch inseams. Make sure if you blessed, make sure you tuck it accordingly. You don't want the thing slipping out. But that's who I am, Mr. GQ.
Oh my God. I have nothing to say other than, hey, live on location, even though we got the 31st for Raw. Live on location, y'all gonna see a lot of videos of this. July 8th, my girl Kalisa, Jeremy's daughter, Kalisa, the Gentleman's Talk, baby. That's my girl right there. You know, we are going to be live on location. We're going to record, and with LXG, we're going to have fun. So make sure you watch out for that. I am the platinum card holder of Fuck Around and Find Out, DJ Micah B, and of course the resident DJ From the Sidelines.
My dog. And we out.
When I'm in my zone, I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I'm unknown to the world that's full of clones. My originality's focused on principalities broken. I'm loaning my heart and soul to the game that's scared to pay it back. And failure is a motherfucker. The strength